Hey there, future space explorers. Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm Luna, and I'm just absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we're going on my very own magical storybook adventure to a place we see almost every single night, but, rarely get to actually visit. We're going to the moon. I've got this fantastic slide deck ready to show you exactly what happened, what I learned, and honestly, some truly amazing space secrets. So strap on those astronaut helmets, get comfy, and let's get ready for liftoff.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our adventure map for today. First up, we'll blast off to space, then explore bouncing and less gravity. After that, we'll crack the changing moon mystery and learn about the 5 moon phases. And finally, we'll wrap things up with a fun let's think and review. Let's get moving.
Section 1. Blast off to space. So let me set the scene for you. It was this perfectly clear, absolutely beautiful night here on Earth. I was looking out my bedroom window at the glowing sky, but, the moon looked a little bit funny to me. I literally just had to smile and say, "The moon looks like a tiny banana tonight." But right as I said it, whoosh, my absolute best friend, Cosmo the robot, flew right in through my window. He asked if I was ready for another adventure, and, well, of course I said always. We climbed straight into his little rocket ship, strapped in tight, and zoomed right up toward that giant glowing banana in the sky to investigate. Section 2. Bouncing and less gravity. After this super fast rocket ride, we touched down on the rocky lunar surface. I stepped out of the rocket, bent my knees, and took a giant leap into the air. And whoa, I flew higher than I ever have in my entire life. I was practically floating from one giant crater to the next, just having the best time. So the crucial point to why I could do that is gravity. Now, gravity is the force that pulls us toward the ground. Cosmo taught me this scientific definition right there on the moon. See, on Earth, gravity is a really strong force that keeps our feet firmly planted on the floor. It's what brings you back down when you jump. But the moon? It plays by completely different rules. Just look at this fraction, 1/6. This is the secret to those incredible leaps. The moon is much, much smaller than Earth, which means its gravity is only about 1/6 as strong as Earth's. Because that invisible pulling force is just so much weaker up there, nothing holds you down the way it does back home. That weaker gravity is exactly why astronauts look like they're in slow motion when they walk, and why I could jump so incredibly high into the dark sky. As I was bouncing from rock to rock, I suddenly stopped and looked back out into space. I totally caught my breath and whispered, "Our planet looks like a beautiful blue marble." And it truly did. Seeing Earth from space is something I will literally never forget. Cosmo totally agreed, pointing out that from the moon, astronauts can see just how special, delicate, and unique our home planet really is. It's just this beautiful swirl of bright blue oceans and white clouds floating in the deep black of space. Section 3. The Changing Moon Mystery. Looking back at the ground beneath my boots, my curiosity completely kicked in. I noticed something super strange. I asked Cosmo, "Why is only part of the moon bright right now? And wait, yesterday it looks totally different. Why was it a banana shape today but a perfect round circle just a couple of weeks ago?" It was a massive space mystery that definitely needed solving. Now, what's really interesting about this is the amazing clue Cosmo revealed. Did you know the moon actually doesn't make its own light? It's true. Even though it glows so brightly in our night sky, it's really just a giant rocky mirror. It completely reflects the light from the sun. The sun essentially acts like a giant flashlight shining on the moon, and that light bounces right off the lunar surface and down to us on Earth. Section 4. The 5 moon phases. So once I knew the moon was just reflecting the sun's light, it was finally time to solve the mystery of the tiny banana and those ever-changing shapes. Cosmo explained that scientists call these different shapes the phases of the moon. And to understand those phases, well, you really have to understand how the moon moves. The number 27 is the key here. The moon doesn't just sit perfectly still in space. It travels all the way around the Earth in a big circle called an orbit, and that journey takes about 27 days to complete. Because the moon is always moving around us over those 27 days, we are constantly looking at it from slightly different angles. This means we end up seeing different amounts of its sunlit side during its journey throughout the month. Let's move through this and see how it builds across the whole month. Cosmo showed me these 5 main steps of the 27-day cycle. First, there's the new moon. This is where the moon is almost invisible to us because the sun is lighting up the side facing away from Earth. Second is the crescent moon. Yep, that's my tiny banana. Just a small, curved piece is bright. Third is the first quarter, where exactly half of the moon appears bright to us. Fourth is the gibbous moon, where it's getting larger and mostly bright. And finally, the 5th step is the magnificent full moon, where the whole thing shines brightly because the entire side facing Earth is lit up by the sun. After that, it shrinks slowly back down to a new moon. So this completely proves the moon never actually changes shape. We just see different parts of its bright side.
Section 5. Let's think and review.
Wow, what an adventure, right? Cosmo and I climbed back into our little rocket to fly home, but before we blasted off, we really needed to reflect on our journey. And this brings up one last, really important thing that happened. I'd actually picked up a super cool moon rock to take home, but I dropped it right back on the surface. Why? Because exploring means learning, but it also means respecting nature. We have to leave everything for the scientists so everyone can continue to study and learn about it. It's just so crucial to protect these amazing places. Okay, pop quiz time. Let's see what you remember. Why can I jump higher on the moon than on Earth? I'll give you a second. Go ahead and shout it out if you know it. Well, did you say weaker gravity? You got it, because the moon's gravity is only 1/6 of Earth's. That downward pulling force is way weaker, allowing for those giant floating jumps we talked about. Awesome. Let's look at our next question. Does the moon make its own light? No way, that's exactly right. The moon is basically a giant rocky mirror floating in space. So where does its light come from? It reflects the brilliant light of the sun right back down to us here on Earth. Here is a truly beautiful question for you. What is the name of the moon phase when the whole moon looks perfectly round and bright in the sky? Take a guess. Yes, it's the full moon. That's the phase where the sun is shining entirely on the side of the moon that we can see from our windows. Absolutely brilliant. All right, here is our hardest review question yet. Why does the moon seem to change shape during the month? Think back to that 27-day orbit we talked about. It's because as the moon travels in its circle around Earth, our viewing angle changes. The moon itself literally never changes shape. We just simply see different amounts of its sunlit side over those 27 days.
Now, whenever I look out my window at night, I know exactly why the moon changes. And I know that every single night, it's just telling another part of its story. So I want to leave you with this final, exciting question. If you could visit the moon, what would you like to see or do? Would you bounce around in the craters? Would you look back at the beautiful blue marble of Earth? Think about it tonight as you wave goodnight to the moon, and let it spark dreams of your very own space adventure. Thank you so much for exploring with me today, and hey, always keep looking up.